Speaking of video for you, I thought I'd do one of these just to start this one, just to give you a bit of all of where me thought process over. We spoke a little bit earlier today. I did this a couple of weeks ago, and I've just been revisited just periodically, just going over. And basically, what I did was I just put all of our GPS data. It's quite broad. Obviously, we could do that for an individual basis. That's no problem at all. We do kind of have a look at that type of stuff. But as regards this information now, it's a broad overview of our GPS and what we did for the first 7 games. As you can see, I've just sort of had these columns of win-loss, red and blue. And I'm just trying to figure out some trends of what our sessions look like in the week leading into losses and obviously leading into wins. Well, I'll just come with this one. So this row here is -4. This is -3, -3/2. If you just count it, that's Toronto one. We had a 3-day lead in. And this is captain's run. And what I've just done on this side is just give me a couple of averages of that one. Ignore these top figures. It's the ones where it's got distance, high speed run, and player load. Just to explain player load in layman's terms, it's essentially the culmination of everything, really. Now, the GPS units have an accelerometer in there. So basically what that does is it'll track side-to-side movement, hard decels, hard accelerations, high-speed running, distance covered, and basically sort of chuck them all into one sort of nice, neat metric that gives you player load. Now, it's not something we use totally all the time. We do keep an eye on it, and obviously for feedback purposes, total distance, high speed meters, they're the things that we keep an eye on. We'll be using player load a lot more now, and it was one of those metrics that really spoke out to us when I was doing this little bit of a review. Now, why I say that is, if we go down here, this is our player load total. So again, these numbers won't mean too much to you, but again, just think of scale, i.e. the highest number and lowest number. So this is our -4, Wigan 267, Saints 195. Remember that Saints game we played on the Thursday at Wigan? We had a Thursday lead into a -4 on a Sunday. So I remember we'd played a reserve game at Swinton the day before. Dead steady day. It was a pretty average session. I remember Steph or one of the other senior boys having a bit of a pop at the boy for their intensity and the intent in training that day. Wakefield is complete flip on that. Now, Wake, if you remember rightly, we'd had a 9-day turnaround on that one. So we played on the Thursday evening and we weren't going to play till the following Sunday. The issue there was we brought the boys back in on Monday. We had a bit of a five-a-side day and pretty steady day, followed by a day off. Then Wednesday was our first day in. Now, looking back at this, I think probably went too hard. Maybe if we'd actually trained on the Monday and then gone in on the Wednesday, then there are 2 more steady leading days. That might have probably worked out a little bit better. So what we did on this day was I think we did a lot of we did a 20-touch game. We had some shuttles for punishments. I remember being a very intense day. The day after wasn't too intense, but was intense enough. And we carried a lot of training load into the game. And subsequently, obviously, I think we got the result that we did, and I think that was a contributing factor. Toronto the week after, we had a 5-day turnaround, really short turnaround, played Friday night. We went all right, pretty average, I think. This alarmed me a little bit because we played so poorly here. What we tried to do was try and fix everything on this -2 day, I think this one is now. And we had a 3-3-4 intensity there. We had a lot of high speed meters if we look up here. 2-2-3 compared across the board. I think it's the second highest. Yeah, second highest compared to Leeds, and that we'll get onto that one. And then we had a really steady captain's run, but obviously the damage was kind of done here. Leeds is a very interesting week, and this is probably one that's put me onto this one a lot more. Now, Leeds, on this day, I remember you didn't want to go outside, and the weather was poor, and you wanted to do more of a specific, short, small, compact session in the barn, which again was fine. And the thought process behind it was fine as well. Now, the constraint of what happens in the barn is we don't get really good live data, and when you download that, it's very scatty, obviously because you've got a roof on. but on top, and then you're bound by the satellite. What it does do though is you get really good player load, and player load is the one metric that you can get because again it's based off of your accelerometer data that's in the GPS unit. It doesn't necessarily depend on the satellite imaging. Now that -4, that was a small sided contact based day, where we did a lot of high accels, high decels. We didn't cover a lot of distance. I think we had 20 meters of high speed run, and I think that was maybe our halves took up the brunt of that one. We were doing slightly different drill. We hardly did any distance. One of our lowest distances or lower distances of -4, but our player load was 333, and that was our set. That was our highest player load that we'd had for any -4 up until then. And we trained for about 60 minutes in there. I think we had a sort of weight skills split. I think that was the day it ran, or maybe a contact split. I'm not too sure. But that was a big day. The day after was when we trained at Widnes, and we'd had another big day. That was our longest time on feet, longest distance covered, most high speed meters. Then we had our highest player load. Again, all of these things go into the same bracket, hence why we came up with this figure here. And then Captain's Run is what it is. Was on the low side, but obviously know what the result was going into the Friday game. Obviously, we didn't play too well. Conversely, as we come out the back of that one, we've probably got two sessions here that are chalk and cheese. So we've got similar distance covered. We actually cover more high speed meters, and it's a higher intensity, but the player load is a lot less. Without getting the actual session up and seeing what that looks like, I know that was a pretty decent session from memory. And we were on feet for a long time. It was only 43 minutes on feet. And that's similar to Saints back in the day. We did 42 minutes on feet, but again, certainly wasn't a great session. I was 49 minutes on feet for Wigan. So short, sharp, concise, in that 3 kilometre range. Not a lot of high speed meters. When we come to Castle -3, get about 3.2k, pretty standard for usually what our sessions look like. Nominal amount of high speed meters, decent intensity, and play load at about 270. We did actually have a bit more of an intense captain's run on that day for whatever reason that might have looked like. We covered and we ran for 34 minutes as well, which is slightly higher than what we usually do. But we know what the result was at the back end of this. And then Hull FC, the last game there, we only had a 6-day lead-in, so we only ran a -3. We ran late doors, which I actually thought ran pretty well that week. I thought it was a decently put together week. I think the point is when I'm looking at a lot of this stuff, I've done a couple of graphs here now, is you can see where we're getting these big spikes. And these big spikes tend to correlate really well, particularly over on here. This Leeds week was our highest player load week. Wakey was our highest high speed running week, and those both corresponded with losses. Even Toronto over 2 game week here, that would have been high on player load if we'd have had another session leading into that. So what point is we're going to this period moving forward is to really be concise with what we want from each day. What I mean by that is what's the emphasis, what's the definite emphasis. I think personally we've got a really good philosophy of what -3 looks like and what you want it to look like. We know where we're probably trying to aim for the bottom end of distance wise is and high intensity meters is, and I think we've kind of got that one down pat. What I think I do, and I think sometimes we all do, and we're all guilty, and it's only because we want to get better, is we try and change things from week to week to fix things and try and implement new drills here and there. Difficulty with that is sometimes it takes a lot of explaining, it takes a lot of people focusing it to attention rather than, I think what we should just do is go a bit old school, is pick our 4 best drills for -3, which we always do. So I was thinking arm wrestle. I think power game, I think that's really good to start with to get people buzzing, get people moving again. Go into a bit of an arm wrestle 13v13. I would personally like the edge taken off that slightly. I think we could pick our times when we can do that. Look back over a session in pre-season where we did that and we had a bit more start-stop and chat about those. And we just do that we just cap that by volume for time as when we're doing, or number of sets, how you would like to do it. We were to do 3 back-to-back sets and try and keep the ball in play, whatever you would like. And we'll just have a chat about that. Left v right, and maybe some going in sets, as you call them. So we've got 4 drills there, and we'll just stick to the same sequences we're going. My thing that I'll probably challenge you on is, do we have that same one on -4? Again, -4, it's always been, since I've been here, a little bit up and down as what we're actually trying to get from it. So for me, from a performance side of things, what I'm trying to get from that day is, I'm trying to get people moving again. I'm trying to get them upper body strengthened, obviously, because we do our upper body lift on that day. We started doing a bit of conditioning on that day, and I'm starting to just reconsider that going into this period now. So I reckon there's some people who do, some people who don't. And then basically just starting to pattern them movement patterns that we start to use throughout the week again. Start getting people's hips going again, starting getting a little bit of running in the legs, so more long progressive warm-ups so they're prepared for that session. I think so. That is our slower day, but I think that sometimes we tell the boys it's a slower day. So what I think you should probably do to nail that down is try and make it the same as a -3. We keep the session exactly the same, with the same drills, with the same structure. You can change the variability of those if you see fit, depending on what the game is, who the opponent is, things that you have to fix up from there. But just try and keep the drills relatively the same and let the players try and master those 4 or 5 drills and how they look. So I don't know if that first 20 minutes just looks like skill. It just looks like skill. And we're just as I'm going here, I'll just flip this one. Again, what I went away and did was, I've just done every single drill that we've done per game, per week, and all the average times, intensities from each one of these. There's that Leeds week again. It was massive. It was a big day that day over at Leeds. So the biggest intensity of each one, highest distance covered, high speed distance. That was a big day. But trying to put all these in context and go away and classify these drills into here. So when I'm talking -4, I'm thinking drills from here. So standard skills, and these are termed from a book that I've been reading, but rudiment drill, just drills where it's just standard skill. People have to do well, execute the skill really well, whereas 3s, 5, whatever it might look like. I know Breezy was doing these. These technical drills are more the ones when we do our split on a -4. Breezy will take the back 3, Hendo usually takes the forwards and do these types of things. But really just try to nail down what drills are where and what half we're doing at. And then sometimes when we've done these drills here, then we'll go into something like this. So is it our defensive day? Well, if it's our defensive day, I don't know what you think, but defense is all about an attitude for me personally, and intensity and intent. So if it's going on our slower day, why is it going on our slower day? If it's one of those things, is it a walkthrough day just to get them moving? But if we're doing D on those one day, then why? It's something that we have to do quite full tilt, have a ton of intent in there. These tactical games, again, these are the ones with more -3. A lot of the things we've done in Portugal, small-sided gates, again, speak for themselves. And obviously, they're my conditioning drills at the back end. But I think -4 should fall somewhere in between rudiment drills and technical drills, with some of these tactical drills added in as the main exercise, if you will do. So these being warm-up drills to get to here. And the drill that we do in here is our main piece where we absolutely nail that. If we can do that, then they fit in these drill intensity brackets and we get a very good gauge of where everybody's up to on that particular day. The good thing about that is as well, is if I can do that, I can then periodise and then instruct to you based on the fatigue that the boys are seeing, the games before, the opponents that we're going to be playing against, what we're going to wear, saying to wear, that we can really then nail down exactly what they look like and how much time we could spend on there. Just come back to this one. 2 seconds. It's wrong. I'm just trying to find my calculator on here. It should be on there. I think it's on another thing. But I've done a drill calculator to go along with these, so that's easy to explain. But any questions, pal, just give us a bell. Cheers.